Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Force here with some more Friday Night Magic. Today we're going to be playing a white weenie deck, a mono white deck. This is known as White Heat, posted up on No Goblins Allowed by Stevevolutionary. And it's actually a deck that I featured, I think, back in November. But I wanted to revisit it because I want to go back to basics. We're going to go back to playing some mono decks. And I thought this would be a fun one to play. Alright, so he starts off with the Elvish Pioneer, comes into play. You can put a basic land card from your hand into the battlefield tapped. He does have said basic land, so he throws it down into play. Good for you, good for you. We're going to toss down a Squadron Hawk. And with this Squadron Hawk, we will search for a Squadron Hawk. And then we will say finish. We could search for two if we wanted to, but I'm just going to search for one. No particular reason, to be honest with you. Because next turn I'll draw a card. Well, actually, no, this potentially stops me from overdrawing. Lets me shuffle up my deck a second time if I so desire. So we are not going to block that. And hopefully we draw into a land so that we can play the Brimaz. That's ideally what I'd like, and that did not happen. But what we can, boy. Question is, do I want to shuffle up my deck again with the second Squadron Hawk, or do I just want to play the... Well, actually, no, let's play the Squire. That makes more sense, because the Squire lets us swing for 2 now with our Squadron Hawk. So Squire has Exalted. So the way Exalted works is when a creature attacks alone, it gets pumped up +1 for every creature with Exalted in play. So he got to take advantage of that, swinging for 2 in the air. And I also didn't want to shuffle up my library just in case we've got a land sitting on top there. Now, if we happen to not draw into a land again, then we're going to squad. Okay, so beautiful. We drew into a land, so we're going to play the Plains. Play the Brimaz this turn. So Brimaz is a 3/4 with Vigilance. This is going to let us block his creature coming up. And whenever it blocks, we get another blocking. Or when it attacks, we get another attacking. Now, we can attack with both or just one. It doesn't matter. We're going to get just as much damage because, again, Exalted triggers only when you attack with a single creature. So either way, we're getting 2 damage off. This way, we save ourselves another blocker if need be for some odd reason. If for some reason we need another blocker, we have it here. He plays a 3rd land and drops down a Grazing Gladeheart, which will give him life gain every time he plays a land. He's going to gain +2 life. And I'm trying to think here how I want to do this. I think we're actually going to play the Hall of Triumph and attack with everything. Well, let's just play the Paragon. That's 2/2. Or we could play the Armored Ascension, which will give us more total damage. So this is going to give us 3 damage, but it's also going to give us another creature for next turn. And then we can put Armored Ascension on the Paragon or this guy next turn. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. It gives us another creature. It pumps up all of these guys so I can swing with everyone. Okay. So the one thing he could do here is he can block and kill my 2/2 if he wants to take this 4 damage. Well, no, I'm sorry. He obviously could do that as well. And this also means he wouldn't gain life from lands coming up. So he's kind of in a really rough way right now. It seems very unlikely that he has a chance, especially knowing that... Okay, so he's going to gain 4 life. Oh, no. If he had another land, he would gain 4 life this turn. But apparently he didn't, so he left the game. So we're going to play Plains, and I think we probably just win right here. We're going to play Armored Ascension, and we're going to do that on our 4/5. It doesn't matter. We just win in the air. So we just go like this. And that is enough damage for the victory in the air. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't really like this hand here for the second game. I don't have a 2-drop. I've got 3+ drops. But this reprisal doesn't count. I'm talking about creatures. I've got 3+ drops, but we don't have the lands for that. So we're going to draw a new hand. And this is much, much better. I like this hand much, much better because we have 2 1-drops and they're both Exalted. So this would let me swing with a 3/3 for the second turn. And if we draw into another land, we've got the Hall of Triumph. I've got the God's Willing, which gives our creature protection from a color of your choice until the end of turn. And you also get to scry. So what scrying does is you get to look at the top card of your library and decide, do I want to draw this next turn? And if not, you can put it on the bottom of your library. If so, you can keep it at the top. So it's a nice, it's a card to give a creature protection and push through extra damage, but it has that nice fringe benefit of getting a little bit of extra intel as to what's coming up. For you. So he's going to play a 1-1 Squadron Hawk. All right, so we're playing against white-blue with some flyers. Now, the good thing is that this guy, even though he's a 1-1, next turn when I attack, it's not going to be with a 1-1. It's going to be with a 3-3. And the Hall of Triumph, actually, as much as it's great that it's going to pump up our creatures, if we only have 2 creatures in play, it doesn't help us that much. I mean, it will add... Actually, no. Yeah, it will add an extra damage, so that is something. All right, so but pre-combat, we're going to play the second Squire. And then we will go into combat and swing for 3 damage. So he attacks, and he gets exalted 2 times. 1 for himself, who has exalted, and 1 for this card, who has exalted. And if we had another card that had exalted, he would become a 4-4. Is he going to chump block? And that makes sense because with Squadron Hawk, he basically has 4 turns of chump blockers, essentially. Like, he can just keep playing chump blockers turn after turn after turn. Now, next turn, what we're going to do is, if he plays 1 Squadron Hawk, we're going to have the Hall of Triumph, and we're going to swing with 2 2/2 creatures, and he'll have to take 2 damage. So it looks like that's going to happen here. So he's going to play the Squadron Hawk. Squadron Hawk lets him surge. The card is so amazing. It really is. Squadron Hawk is so amazing. I love it. I mean, it's annoying now that I'm playing against it, but we're going to play the Hall of Triumph. Comes into play, and we call a color, and we're going to call white. And so permanents of under our control of that color get pumped up +1/+1 if they're white. So we're going to swing with both 2/2s. He will chump block 1, he will take 2. And then next turn, we don't have any big plays. But once we hit turn 5, we have got the Battle Grace Angel, which is flying exalted, so another exalted card. And whenever a creature attacks alone, it gains lifelink till end of turn. So that's, as you imagine, really good. That's really good. All right, so he's going to play the Solemn Offering. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, gain 4 life. Okay, so there goes our Hall of Triumph. So this tells us now we're going to take advantage again of our exalted. And there's our 5th land, so this means we're going to play the Battle Grace Angel next turn. Hopefully he taps out, because if he doesn't tap out, then I don't necessarily want to play it. So right now, this is a situation where it's preferable that I attack with the single creature, because again, this turns into 3 damage, as opposed to if I attacked with both of them individually, it would only be 2 damage. So we swing for 3, and I'm just praying right now that he taps out so that next turn I can play my Battle Grace, Battle Grace Angel. Specifically, I don't want him to have any blue mana untapped. Well, 1 blue mana is okay. 1 blue mana is not so bad. Wall of Omens. Comes into play, draw a card, it's an 0/4. So he's going to prevent this damage, but he's going to be, I'm swinging at him for 4 damage, exalted lifelink. So he's going to, if he blocks this, he's going to prevent the damage, but we're still going to gain 4 life. And his card's going to die. So here it is, trigger, he gains lifelink, he gets 3 additional exalted, because this guy has exalted too. So it brings him up to a 4/4 now. And the lifelink works so that whenever a creature deals damage, we gain that much life. Now, even if this was an 0/1, 4 damage is still dealt to it, so you still gain 4 life, which is kind of a neat little thing there. Basically, overkill damage is done, and you get the benefit from that life gain, is how that works. Now, what'll happen next turn, I think, is we'll probably play the Paragon of the New Dawns and swing with everything. Ooh. Well, let me think about this, actually. Because if we just swing with this, we gain the lifelink, which we don't gain otherwise. So let's just swing with this. Okay, so we're gonna just swing with this. It's gonna become an 8/8. So we will deal 8 damage and gain 8 life. So there it is, it's an 8/8. It gains lifelink because a creature is attacking alone. This is gonna put us up to 32, he's down to 11. And we're going to play another Paragon next turn, and at that point we will swing with everything, because we'll have enough in play that it'll make sense to swing with everything. We won't get the lifelink, but we're going to get more damage through this way. And he's been replaced by AI, understandably so. So we're going to play another Paragon of the New Dawns. This is going to pump everyone up again. And now we get more additional damage by swinging with everything. Even though he's blocking 3, we're going to get 6 additional damage instead of just 3 additional damage here. Go into combat phase. And this is actually the victory. 6, 12. He can block a 3/3. That's it. He's at 11. That's the victory. Beautiful, beautiful. This isn't... this is really nice to have, especially with the Armored Ascension. But I don't have any... I think I'm going to keep this. I think I'm going to keep this because this is a very, very nice early creature to have. It's got First Strike and it has Exalted, alright? We have the Armored Ascension, and if we draw one more land, we'll be able to play the Armored Ascension and pump it up. Alright, so he plays that. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it in your hand, okay. And what he played is a land that gives him 2 life when it comes into play. It's just a colorless land, so it doesn't tap for anything, but colorless, so that allowed him to play an artifact, and he gains 2 life when it drops. I wonder if he's just running an artifact deck. Like an artifact heavy deck. That'd be kind of cool to see. I like seeing fun stuff like that. Plays a Gilded Gate, comes into play tapped, and searches his library for a basic land card. Puts it into his hand, so he doesn't get to drop that in play, but he does get it in his hand. So we're going to be able to get the Paladin out, no problem. And in subsequent turns, we'll be able to protect it. So this is why I was okay with taking this hand, alright? Because as long as... if we can protect it in future turns with God's Willing and get a Armored Ascension on it, this card alone could win us the game. Because it'll be huge, it has First Strike, it'll have Flying, it has Exalted. I mean, it's going to be crazy. So we just need to draw one more land here with Armored Ascension. To build, I mean, we just need to draw one more land to be able to play Armored Ascension. He plays a Darksteel Ingot. Alright, so he is slow rolling, but I am certain that he has got control, removals type stuff in his deck. I am certain of it. Absolutely certain. So my question right now is, do I want to save untapped mana to protect it? Do I want to play the Exalted to get an extra damage off right now? Or save mana to protect it? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much if he does kill it. It's not the end of the world because I've got other creatures now. So yeah, let me just tap out. I'm just gonna tap out. I've got other creatures now. So if he plays other stuff, if he decides to play other stuff to I'll just grab 2 of them. If he decides to play other stuff, I mean, if he decides to kill this, we've got other stuff that we can pump up with our Armored Ascension. So this is going to give us 2 extra damage this turn. It's going to turn the Paladin into a 4/4 because we played this guy with Exalted. And that was my debate, whether or not to play him or save 1 mana for the God's Willing. But I think this is okay. We'll see. We'll see if he has the removal now. I pray he doesn't. He doesn't. He plays card draw. Okay, perfect. So now I just want to draw into 1 mana, honestly, and then just hit him for a boatload. It'll be amazing. Okay. We're going to hit him for a boatload now. So we're going to play the Armored Ascension on him. This is risky. I'll tell you why, because now this guy's a huge target. He's got a huge target on his back. He's monstrous. He was strong in and of himself, but now he's even stronger when he's enchanted. So he's basically has a big cross on his head that says, kill me, remove me if you have the opportunity. Which makes me think for a moment that I should have waited. But if I take, see, this is the great thing about Magic, is that if you take the chance and your opponent doesn't have the answer, you just win. You just win now. So now he plays a Freak Chosen, which in any situation would have been amazing because it's a 1/1 death touch. He can kill any creature that this thing deals damage to. But the problem is that my dude has flying. Oh my gosh. Do we just win this turn? We do. Unless he's got a counterspell or something. We're going to play Armored Ascension on... Let's just play it on another creature. Let's play it on this guy. So we're going to play another Armored Ascension. And now we've got Fatal Damage in air without having to do any Exalted attacking. Why didn't I attack with a 1/1? No idea. Doesn't matter anyways because we win the game. We win the game. If you take a chance, sometimes it can pay off big. Sometimes. This hand is like debatable for me. We do get to draw first though, and having Brimaz for turn 3 would be really nice. So I guess we could keep this. Keep this hand. Yeah, playing Brimaz on turn 3, this is just such a beastly creature. It's a 3/4 body for 3, which is amazing. There's our 3rd land, so that's perfect. The only thing that can make this more perfect, basically, is if we had a Squire here to play turn 1. Squire turn 1, Squadron Hawk turn 2, Brimaz turn 3, that'd be nice. But instead, we are going to play a Squadron Hawk next turn. I will take a single Squadron Hawk, but that's it. Because I don't want to go too high. I guess I could technically take 2, but we'll just take 1 because it doesn't really matter. Take a single Squadron Hawk. Puts us up to 7 lands. Yeah, I mean, if we took... What am I talking about? If we took 2, we'd be at 8... We'd be at 8 cards in our hand, and we'd have to discard 1, so it makes no sense to take 2. And next turn, we're going to be able to play Brimaz. He swings for 1. We take it, obviously, because I'd rather have a flyer that deals 1 damage to him than have him lose one ground creature. Although, maybe I should have killed it, thusly allowing the Brimaz to push through. Yeah. That's actually, I think I should have killed that, to be honest with you, because it would have given the opportunity for Brimaz to push through in an upcoming turn. All right, we're gonna go into combat step first. I'm gonna swing for 1 before we play Brimaz. And then we are going to play Mr. Brimaz. 3/4. So it's gonna be hard for him to get rid of with 4 health, or harder. It's a lot easier to get rid of creatures with 3 health or less in this game. This early on, that's what I'm meaning to say here. What about those days of Lightning Bolt, huh? Anyone remember that? You guys, someone around here remembers the days of Lightning Bolt. Those were hilarious days. Alright, so yeah. Yeah, it's making me think I definitely should have blocked his 1/1. The only rebuttal to that is if he just played a creature this turn, he would have been fine either way. And then I would have just lost upcoming potential damage. So we've got a way to protect our Brimaz if he tries to destroy it here. So I am just going to swing. I consider playing the Banisher Priest, but it's not worth... You'd much rather use the Banisher Priest on something much larger than a 1/1. So what we're going to do here is we're going to swing with everything. Okay. And if he has Pump Up for this, or removal for this, we can protect it with God's Willing. So let's see what he has here, if anything. So he blocks it, but the question is, does he also try to kill it? Okay, so 2 goes through. Nothing else, apparently. So I'm going to play a Squadron Hawk. Now he could still have damage before the end of his turn. He could still have a way to deal 3 damage to Brimaz before the end of his turn. Which, for me, means... I don't want to play a second Squadron Hawk right now, just in case. I also don't want to tap out for next turn, just in case. So we're going to save our mana. We're not going to play a second Squadron Hawk. Because I would like to save Brimaz, if possible, if he has a way to burn him. Although next turn I will probably tap out for the Battlegrace Archangel. Yeah, I'm going to tap out this turn for Battlegrace Archangel. And oh, that's really good too. Although this gives me a 4/4 for next turn, which is really good, obviously. And then if I attack alone, he gets 1 extra damage. Oh no, but he won't be attacking alone either way, so that doesn't matter. I'll just do that. I'll just play this to have the... No, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to play this. We're going to put it on one of our... No, I'll just put it on Brimaz. Because playing against red-green means that what is likely to happen is if he has removal for Brimaz, it's likely to be in the form of damage, not in hard removal. Like, there's hard removal in black and white, and those are the colors you definitely have to worry about that. But green and red, it's likely to be damage that he would use to kill Brimaz. So making Brimaz bigger, well, it makes him a bigger target, like something that he'll want to remove. It's also less likely with the color combination that I'm facing that he will have just that hard removal. So I'm actually confident in overcommitting to a single creature, essentially. A lot of times in Magic, you sort of want to spread your stuff out so you don't make one creature super powerful so that if they have something to get rid of a creature, that is the obvious target. It becomes even more obvious the more you pump up it, the more enchantments and stuff you put on it. But yeah, because of this color combination, I'm actually okay with what we're doing here. And I think we just win again. This deck is steamrolling. Holy crap. I mean, I'm confident we just win again. He's got Arbor Colossus. I'm going to give this guy protection from green, and then he can't block, and now he just loses. That is so hilarious. All right, so we're going to play God's Willing. Put it on our Brimaz. He's going to get protection from a color of our choice until end of turn. It doesn't even matter, actually, because we have Reprisal as well. So he's going to get protection from green. We'll keep that atop. And to add insult to injury, he can't even block our Brimaz right now. But to add insult to injury, we're going to Reprisal his 6/6. He just loses super bad here. Pre-declaring blockers, we cast Reprisal on a 6/6, removing it. Destroy creature power 4 or greater, can't be regenerated. Wouldn't matter anyways though, this guy had pro green, so that was the win. Holy crap. Thank you so much for watching Friday Night Magic, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Stay tuned next Friday for another episode. This was hilarious, we just steamrolled. Keep watching, and keep owning.